How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we work together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build a positive mindset. My name is Henry, and in this episode, we're going to talk about how to find your purpose. If you are someone that is trying to feel needed or find the place that you belong, this is going to be the episode for you because we're going to break down how to get that feeling, how to put yourself in the position that you're supposed to be so that you can expand in a positive light that allows you to live a life that you enjoy. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So you can pick a word, be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, you're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And then once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. Well, we're going to take another deep breath. This one is about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so that we can receive the message that we need to hear today to get us in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And then once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. So having a sense of purpose or feeling like you're belonging is such an important part of life. When you have that, it's easier to be motivated. It's easier to see the vision of what it is that you're trying to create. When you don't have it, it's hard to feel fulfilled. Everything seems empty. It seems like we don't belong or we don't fit in or we're not being who we're supposed to be. And so if you're struggling with that, if you don't feel like you're in the correct situation, either it's a negative or toxic situation you're in, or it's just an emptiness. You don't feel like you belong. You don't feel like you matter or you're making the impact that you know deep down you're able to make. Something that I've really been thinking about lately is, what is the point of all this? Why do we have this existence? And how do we get fulfillment from it? How do we make it a happy one? How do we make it an enjoyable one for not only ourselves, but everybody else that's coming here? And I think the goal isn't to do anything. It's not to be an architect. It's not to do a certain job. It's not to do a certain goal. It's not to achieve a certain thing. It's really about becoming. You see, if you are feeling emptiness around you, if you are not feeling belonging around you, the external world is a reflection of your internal state. So whatever you're feeling externally, whether it's from family members, from coworkers, from people around you, it's truly a reflection of our inner state. Now, the positive to that is we can control our inner state. We can raise our frequency. And once you start doing that, you will find yourself in the position that you're supposed to be in, because we are supposed to just be and exist, and we will be guided to where we're supposed to go. If you feel fulfilled where you are, how much money you have, your position, your status, all of those things will not be very high on the importance scale for you. So they will not impact how you feel. They will not impact your fulfillment. They will not impact your joy or happiness because your internal state will be at peace. Raising our frequency is the task. Now, wherever you are, if you're in a difficult situation, if you're hurting, or you're just in an empty situation, whatever it is, it's not to compare one to the other. That is the sign of where you need to focus. How can you have inner peace in your current situation? Inner peace is within us, but it's also by connecting to all. When you are able to observe the world around you, when you are able to connect with all energy, you can start finding the positive. You can start finding the meaning in everything that's happening. When we are not connected to self, it allows us to see how even on a long enough timeline, the pain, the hurt, the emptiness that we're going through can be beneficial to someone else. Just imagine right now, if somebody showed up in your life that had gone through what you're going through, that had been through the pain, that had been through the hurt, the loneliness, the emptiness, whatever it is that you're struggling with, and they looked at you and they said, I remember what that was like. I was there. I was you just a few years ago. Here's what I did. Here's who I became. And this is what it changed for me. This is how I feel now. This is how I'm experiencing life. And I want to show you that thing that I've done. I want to give you the energy that I now feel. How good would that be? It's not that they're saving us. They're giving us perspective. It's up to us to decide if we want to follow it. Well, that person is you. Your purpose is to find love. Your purpose is to be light. That's it. It's not to find the dream job. You can have the dream job. You can have the dream marriage. You can have the dream experience. All of those things are obtainable to you. But none of those things correlate with a happy self. None of them mean or guarantee inner peace. Because I promise there is somebody that has every single thing that you desire, and they are miserable. They're empty. They don't want to be here. They don't have any pleasure. They don't have any fulfillment. It's because the external things are just that. They're external. We don't take them with us. They're really not a part of us. We're just observing them. We're just seeing them, and we're experiencing them. But we, our energy, is separate from them. So we have to focus on the energy. When we make that change to solely decide that the experience that we're having is our responsibility, that everything that's happened so far is happening for us, you are back in control. Even when it's not your fault. If you were born into a difficult family, if you had an accident, a tragedy, something painful happened to you that has no rhyme or reason, it's easy to see that those are not your fault and you didn't do anything, technically, to deserve it. But if you want to give the power to something external and be in the victim energy, that's okay. There is no right or wrong. But if you want to change how you feel, if you want to belong, if you want to be something more, then we cannot do that. We cannot give the power to something external. We cannot say, I've been unlucky. We cannot say the bad things that happened to us. We cannot give those powers to anything. We have to decide everything is an opportunity for us to grow. That's what this existence is. So if things have been difficult, it's for you because you are choosing a high frequency. So you have to go through something difficult to get there. You are a creator that is here to bring light and love. The light and love that you're here to bring is the exact opposite of what it is that you're going through. If you are going through a difficult thing, then the light that is on the other end of it, the healing that is on the other end of it, is your path. If you're going through abuse, if you're going through neglect, emptiness, whatever it is, there's no comparison. One is not a greater task. One is not a more professional task. One is not a higher value task. It's all experiences, and every single one is needed. The world doesn't need you to be a doctor. The world doesn't need you to be a lawyer. It doesn't need you to be anything other than healed. If everyone was healed, if everyone was love, if everyone was light and giving that to their neighbor, just sharing the frequency they're in, the abundance on this planet would be something that we could never even imagine at this moment. The freedom, the support, the love, the experience would be so phenomenal because everyone would be giving the best version of themselves to everyone else. That transfer of energy wouldn't stop because each neighbor would give it and give it and give it. That society might exist one day, but for it to exist, there has to be a starting point. There has to be a catalyst. There has to be someone that's going to raise their hand and say, okay, I might want to be a doctor. I might want to do those things, but first, I'm going to heal myself so that I can be the highest version of me, the version that operates in love and forgiveness at all times. When you start truly becoming that person and making decisions every day that keep you in alignment with that, you will be fulfilled. You will have a sense of belonging because everyone is going to desire to be around the person that just presents love and light at all times. That is something that is earned. We don't just automatically know how to be the highest version of ourselves. That's why we're having this experience. So if you lack purpose, if your life lacks meaning, if it doesn't seem like there's a reason for you to be here, know that there is. And it's not the stuff that schools tell us. It's not the jobs. It's not the status. It's none of those things. It's a state of being. Start focusing on that. Increase your internal value, raise your vibration, and be the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful and gave you a perspective that hopefully puts a little focus on what it is that you can be and what it will feel like when you go on that journey. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link in the description that will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok down below. I appreciate all the follows there. Of course, Instagram is the best place for direct messages. So thank you so much to everyone that has shot me a message, letting me know how the podcast has impacted or made an impact in your life. That means the absolute world to me. And then the Positive Mindset Facebook community, that's where a lot of these conversations are happening. There's some cool stuff coming that may have already started depending on when this episode comes out, but I'm glad to have everybody that's in there, that's growing, that's working together to be that rising tide that can lift all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.